Loaded show today here on Seahawks Today. We're talking a potential trade for Chris Jones. Got an injury update on Devon Witherspoon, as well as a roster update. All of this leading up to this Sunday's game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. Speaking of which, if you really want to beat the Los Angeles Rams, I need you to prove it. And here's the deal. I have a list of everybody that's watching this edition of Seahawks Today, and I'm going to know who liked today's video and who did not like today's video. And if the Seahawks lose because you didn't like today's video, you better believe I'm coming after you. So don't jinx it. Do your part. Like today's show. Let's get some good vibes going for your Seattle Seahawks heading into this weekend. Secure a victory. Start out one of those. Like the video, and we'll get started with today's show. A trade for Chris Jones. Could that be in the works potentially? NFL Network national correspondent Steve Wyche talked about a potential trade that the Seahawks could be making for the Pro Bowl defensive tackle. Jones is in a bit of a contract dispute with the Kansas City Chiefs, and it seems unlikely this is going to get worked out anytime soon, where he would be able to play tomorrow night for the Chiefs against the Detroit Lions. So what about the idea of Seattle? Here's more from Wyche in an interview that he had with Seattle Sports 710. Is this the year you make your move and do something like Chris Jones? It would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense. The Seahawks are an organization that plays the long game. They play the fairways more than they play the greens a lot. So you say to yourself, could this be the window? We've talked about the NFC. The water's more in the shallow end of the pool in terms of top-heavy talent. This might be something where they wait a month, they wait 4 weeks to see if he's still available. Look, it's no secret Chris Jones would not be cheap, okay? I mean, Chris Jones, a player of his caliber, that's right in the prime of his career, that's got multiple Super Bowl rings and all that, would be very pricey for Seattle. But it's exactly what this team needs. All we've been talking about on this channel for months on end was the problems that persist for Seattle in the interior of the defensive line. More from Steve Wyche. Seattle just kind of looking at how they could use him. Jones has played primarily on the edge the past couple of years. Seattle could use him kind of as a hybrid 5 technique, hybrid 6 and 7 technique of what they do defensively. Bottom line is this. You talk about adding Chris Jones to this Seahawks team, which is loaded across the board, but obviously there's a glaring weakness here. You go from 0 to 100 real quick. Chris Jones makes the Seattle Seahawks a Super Bowl contender in 2023. That's the type of difference he brings to the table. And I'm going to tell you more about Chris Jones and a possible trade idea in just one moment. But first, got to thank the 12s. You guys delivered 40,000 subscribers here on Seahawks Today. Appreciate you guys making it happen and being a part of our family of what we do every day here on Seahawks Today. And I got to tell you, I'm fired up for our watch party that we're going to be bringing you here on Sunday. Myself, Tyler Smith-Smitty, going to be in the house here with you. We're going to break down this game in real time, have a few drinks on hand. It's going to be a Super Chat Palooza. You will not want to miss out on our watch party coming up on Sunday. Our coverage begins 1:25 p.m. Pacific time right here on the channel. Stick around. We'll have a little post-game show as well. Seahawks Today live, NFL Week 1 watch party. Don't miss it. Coming up on Sunday, 1:25 Pacific here on Seahawks Today. Chris Jones, 4-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and he also holds the NFL record for the most consecutive games with a sack. That's why he's earned the title of Sack Nation with 11 games in a row, and the people of Kansas City got to eat a lot of free Big Macs courtesy of Chris Jones over the years because all those sacks that he delivered. But you look at these statistics of what he did last season, and this is a guy that is right in the prime of his career. We're talking 15 and a half sacks in 2022. Phenomenal. 17 tackles for loss, 29 QB hits, 2 forced fumbles. When you look past Aaron Donald, they don't get much better than Chris Jones. This is a difference maker. Now the price tag. All about the Benjamins. Everybody's wondering, okay, know the talent's there. What about the cost ultimately for the Seattle Seahawks? Don't have a ton of money to spend necessarily. 4 years, $100 million, $75 million guaranteed, about $25 million per. That's the deal that Chris Jones is likely to get. If it's not by Kansas City, it's going to be somewhere else. The range, it will be less than Aaron Donald, but it's going to be more than Quinnen Williams whenever he gets that deal somewhere. Here's the deal. Seahawks are in win-now mode. We've heard it from John Schneider. We've heard it from Pete Carroll. They are all in on 2023. They are ahead of schedule as a team when it came to this rebuild project in the post-Russell Wilson era. And as Steve Wyche mentions, of this possibility of bringing in Chris Jones, this is something where I think if you're Seattle, where I agree with Steve on this, is that you wait and see how things are going. If it's a real issue at that interior of the defensive line, and if Chris Jones is still out there, then be aggressive. Make this trade and bring him in. Here's what I'm looking at. I think that you could bring in Chris Jones, you pay him the contract, and you give up 2 picks, a 2024 second-round pick and a 2024 third-round pick, and Chris Jones is yours if you're willing to pay him. I'm all in. I'm sold. Let's make it happen. What do you think? Get around in that comment section for me. Be honest. Should the Seahawks trade for Chris Jones? Type HY for hell yes, HN for hell no. What do you think? Let me know one way or the other about the idea of a Chris Jones trade or not. HY for hell yes, HN for hell no. Devon Witherspoon has made his return to the Seattle Seahawks practice field on Tuesday in a limited role of sorts for Devon Witherspoon after we heard from Pete Carroll say a few days ago that it was unlikely that Devon Witherspoon was going to play this upcoming week. John Schneider had this to say about Witherspoon as well. Physically, I guess, referring to him being there, yes, because it's a hamstring. Mentally, no, because it's such a tough, gritty competitor. He's going to go for it. If anything, we're probably going to have to govern him a little bit. So hold the phone. Don't get too excited yet. It's a step in the right direction, no question about it. But as far as his progress and availability to give it a go this week, I want to necessarily get my hopes up there because, as Schneider alluded to, it's not just the physical side of things, but the mental side of things. He's been gone for a month. He's got a lot of catching up to do. Today's show is presented by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code Seahawks125 at checkout, you will get a 125% deposit bonus. But $100 down, you can get a $125 to spend for free at chatsports.com/bet. You can even bet on this weekend's game between Seattle and Los Angeles. The Seahawks coming in as 5.5-point favorites, over under at 46. So, get rich, kids. Go ahead and bet your money. Go all in on the Seahawks. You can bet on other NFL action as well. Seattle Mariners playing really good right now. Maybe you want to throw some money on the Mariners as well. Chatsports.com is the place to do it. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Seahawks125 to get your bets in today. That's chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Seahawks125. So, Witherspoon's preseason, it started with him missing most of training camp with that hamstring injury. And Tuesday's practice was the first time we saw Witherspoon since all the way back on August 7th. So a month that he has not been a part of the equation. Pete Carroll saying Friday that he was unlikely to play against the LA Rams, but they were going to push as hard as they can for him to at least make an effort to try to give it a go. Witherspoon's role, at the very least for now, will not be the starting outside corner position that he was competing with Mike Jackson for. Now, before the injury, he did get some time at the nickel spot in practice as well. But Trey Brown, the former Oklahoma Sooner third-year player who missed most of last season, he has been named the starting outside corner opposite of Rick Woolen on that side of the football. Look, bottom line is this. There is no need to rush Devon Witherspoon back until he's ready, both physically and mentally. The difference now between the Seattle Seahawks of 2023 as opposed to 2022 is they are prepared for this situation, okay? This team can deal with this. They have other guys to step in, and they will be okay to get by for now until Witherspoon is fully ready to go. Trey Brown, as we mentioned, how well he played in the preseason. Mike Jackson, of course, started all 17 games at outside corner last year. He's a possibility. Kobe Bryant is there. You just brought in Caillou Blue Kelly from the Baltimore Ravens as well. You have guys to make this work. So until Witherspoon is completely ready to go, no need to rush him back. This group's going to be A-OK as far as I'm concerned. What do you think? Is Devon Witherspoon going to play on Sunday against the Rams? Give me a guess. Just a pure guess. It's okay. Y for yes, in for no. Let me know what you think if Witherspoon's going to play or not. One final note before we go. I got a bit of roster updates to get to from what's gone on the last couple of days. We told you about some of them over the week, but kind of want to recap where things stand for the Seattle Seahawks heading into this weekend against the Rams. Dareke Young, placed on IR, could return by week 6. And why we say week 6? Well, the Seahawks have a bye week, week 5. So the following week is when then he would be eligible to make a potential return. Ben Brown signed over to the active roster from the practice squad. Will fill one of the guard positions for the Seahawks. Meanwhile, Holton Ahlers, who impressed in the preseason as the number 3 quarterback, he's been signed back to the practice squad, so he's not moving away just yet after getting cut from the practice squad just a couple days ago. Brady Breeze, safety, he's been signed to the practice squad, spent some time with the Detroit Lions previously, and then Brian Koback was released. Bryant Koback had a few good moments in the preseason for the Seahawks, in particular as a pass catcher as well, but wouldn't be surprised if we hear his name called up again. Might not be the last we've heard from Koback there. The thing that stands out to me, as far as with Dareke Young going to IR, missing these next 5 weeks, huge opportunity for Jackson Smith-Njigba and Jake Bobo. Smith-Njigba and Bobo, as rookies, have a huge chance to step up, and I expect this offense not to miss a beat. That's not a knock on Dareke Young at all, don't get me wrong, but the way that JSN and Bobo have gone through training camp and the preseason showing that they're ready to make an impact on this offense right away, I think this group's going to be just fine. And don't forget about Cody Thompson as well. Cody Thompson, when he's been given opportunity, has been pretty solid. So this receiver group, it's the best the Seahawks have seen in a very long time, and Geno Smith's going to be a happy camper. What do you think of the receiver group? Chime in the comment section. Give it a grade. ABCDRF, and let me know how you feel about the Seahawks receiver group heading into Sunday against the LA Rams. Speaking of Sunday, a reminder, we will be live. Coverage begins 1:25 Pacific right here on Seahawks Today. Me and Smitty and the crew, you will not want to miss out. We're going to have a great time here on the channel for our first watch party, first of 17 for sure, hopefully more, this season here on the channel. Going to be a great time. Appreciate you joining us. Make sure to hit that like button. Don't jinx it. We want to do our part to get a Seahawks victory this weekend. Because trust me, I will find you if you didn't like today's video. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.